have these experiences that are very complex and very bittersweet. Is that something that you felt in your coverage?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you make the best friends, the closest friends, because you rely on each other. I mean, of course, life is about human relationships at the end of the day, whether it's the subject you're photographing or the person that you're doing it with. So yes, of course, that's important and intense. And also I've been so privileged to go to Afghanistan, to go to Iraq, to go to the Congo, and see dreadful things and the most amazing things, and people coping with the fallout of other people's decisions.
And it's an obvious question, as a woman, do you think there's a difference in the way that you work to your male comrades, or is it just we're all just doing the same job? And how do you kind of play with that in your own work?
I think men are catching up. So when I was in El Salvador, Nicaragua in the early 80s, I can remember people going off to the front line with the army to photograph the bang bang, and I was photographing a reproductive rights workshop, equally important for women in El Salvador, whether your husband's a soldier or a guerrilla, you're going to carry on having babies. And I felt proud to be doing that and not being a bang bang person. And people didn't used to be interested in refugees. Now it's one of the biggest stories there is.
I think so. That was always my interest. It wasn't in the front line, in the soldiers, because you find soldiers in all these conflicts. I was always trying to find that unique angle in a particular story that made it different or special. And obviously you've concentrated on women. Do you think that the world's become more aware of the issue of women in conflict over this period, or do you feel like it's gone backwards or forwards, or you know?
No, I think it's definitely gone forwards. I think during the Bosnia War, Maggie O'Kane on The Guardian did a lot by reporting the lives of women in a main newspaper.
Nick, I just really wanted to know what inspired you to make this film. What was your connection with this world of photojournalism, and how did you choose the characters you were going to, because it's a very interesting, as Jenny said, an interesting arc in terms of these different photographers at different points in their careers with different kind of work or ways of approaching their work. So how did the idea for the film come about?
Well, it came about a number of years ago. It actually was a pretty long time in the making, and mostly my initial connection to this world, or at least most strongly, was through Pete Muller, the subject of the first episode, of course. And he's someone that I had gotten to know when I was living in DC, and at that time was working for National Geographic, running a division based on a company I had started in college long ago, and Pete became involved in that correspondence program that we launched. He was sort of part of the first group of correspondents that we sponsored, and that's how he and I got to know each other, in particular professionally. And we stayed in touch as friends and as colleagues after that, and he actually worked with me on my first film, which we shot together in South Africa. And so my connection to that world and to the work, again, most strongly was through him and through his work and his career as it evolved. And I just grew increasingly fascinated by what I was learning from him, and of course what I knew and perceived throughout the rest of media. And I met a lot of other people through him, photographers.